Well, hello and welcome. Welcome to Around the Town with Mark. I'm Mark Whalen, your host, and I'm always glad to have you tune in and visit with us. Well, we are living in an area we're so fortunate to have so many great things to see and to do with our family and friends. And of course, this year is not going to be any different. One day in particular is a standout that you're definitely going to want to share with your family and friends. So put it on your calendar now when you hear about it. I've got two guests today, and we're going to tell you all there is to know about this great day. It is Groton Bank Day, which also is Art on Groton Bank. And that is an art show on the grounds of the Bill Memorial Library. And of course, Groton Bank Day is all kinds of fun things that go on all over the area of Groton Bank. So let me just go ahead, introduce my two guests, and I'll let them tell you all about what we've got going on this show. I will introduce Jacqui Copp. Welcome.
Thank
and
you.
Wendy Connal.
Connal.
I told you I was going to get it wrong. I just knew it. Anyway, welcome both of you to Around the Town with Mark. Wendy, introduce yourself to our show and
Sure.
a little bit about
I'm the director of the Bill Memorial Library in the city of Groton, right next to Fort Griswold, in the old historic building at the top of the hill.
Wonderful. And Jacqui?
I am Jacqui Copp, and I'm with the Avery Copp House as their development director, and I work with both Wendy and Mark on Groton Bank Day, and I've gotten to know them quite well over the past year or so.
Well, let's start. Give us an overview then of Groton Bank Day. And you know, it's obviously not a bank where you put money in, even though in a way it is, because we like to take money.
No, it's a part of the city of Groton, of course, and it describes the part of the city on the banks of the river, of the Thames River. It's really the historic village of Groton Bank, but it's now termed, for the most part, Groton Bank. So we decided to collaborate with a bunch of organizations, including, of course, your baby, Art on Groton Bank, which is on the grounds of the Bill Memorial Library, and combine that with Connecticut Open House Day. So on June 8th, 2019, we will have our second annual Groton Bank Day, and we have 10 participants. So I think it's going to be a great collaboration again this year.
Wonderful. And Wendy, you and I both obviously work on the Groton Art on Groton Bank. And in addition to me just being here as a host, I also, as you just mentioned, have a little bit to do with Art Groton Bank and producing that day. Wendy, why don't you tell us a little bit about Art on Groton Bank and the history of that and how it works with the library to produce this?
Yes, I think this will be the 12th year for Art on Groton Bank, so it's been going on quite some time. We take the lawn next to the library and fill it with tents, and artists come from all over, artists and artisans, food vendors. This year we're glad to have a craft for children offered by the Lyman Allen Museum. They'll be with us at Art on Groton Bank. And it's just a fun day to look for, some early Christmas shopping or, from fine art to jewelry to pottery. We kind of have it all there.
Well, I love the way you say that about the Christmas shopping, because I know a lot of people come up to me that day and say, "Oh, I'm just doing my Christmas shopping," and it's a great opportunity because you can obviously, like you say, we have artists and artisans, we have pottery and lots of great handmade jewelry and all kinds of things like that, and its price ranges from you can buy a photograph for $10 for $250. You can buy a $3 pair of earrings. So there's a little bit of something for everybody.
That's great.
So you just come with your money and spend and shop, but you don't have to spend a fortune. You can just walk away with just little fun trinkets and things like that. And we always try to have some interactive activities as well.
Right.
Face painting or henna artists and that type of thing. So we're still putting it all together. It's not all there yet, but it's getting real close. So Jacqui, tell us a little bit more about some of the other sites that are part of Groton Bank Days. Tell us a little bit about the Avery Copp House and some of the other sites that are open and in Groton Bank that day.
Absolutely. In fact, this idea started because of the success of Art on Groton Bank, and people were spending tons of time up on the top of the hill at the Fort Griswold Bill Memorial Library Art on Groton Bank Day, but Connecticut Open House Day is another element of that day, and that provides families, very family friendly, and it's free of charge in the entire state of Connecticut. Lots of museums and historic places are open for families to come and visit and get a sense of the different museums and the different things that can be visited in the area. So specifically at the Avery Copp House, we open our doors to all ages. We have children's activities, adult tours. Last year we had a calligraphy teaching, and you could take home your work. We will have a lemonade stand and a little bit of food, some baked goods at the museum this year for sale, so people can grab a nibble if they need it. We like to let people see our house that was built in about 1800 and come through and learn something and do something fun with their children on the day. But we also have Fort Griswold will be participating, and the Congregational Church with its beautiful windows, stained glass windows.
One of them is the Tiffany, too.
Yes,
yeah.
it sure is.
Yep.
The Subvets Memorial participates every year, or this being our second year. We have the Ebenezer Avery House.
Is the Mother Bailey House going to be open?
Mother Bailey House is
Wonderful.
participating.
Is participating,
We will
okay.
see how that works. We may have, that may be exterior, it may be interior, we aren't quite sure yet.
Okay.
But what a wonderful gem we have in the city of
Certainly.
Groton with that
Certainly.
house. Let me look at my list to make sure I haven't forgotten anyone. Thames River Heritage Park is also a participant in this, which would lead me to talk about the fact that their water taxi will be available as well.
Yeah, let's tell us a little bit more about that, because it's not just a park. It's not one site, the Thames River Heritage Park.
No, not at all.
Not at all. It's really several different sites all wrapped into one. So that just means that there's so much more going on that day. So tell us a little bit about that portion of it.
Sure. Part of the Thames River Heritage Park is funded by the state of Connecticut. It is a park, but it isn't a park in existence where you could measure it on the ground.
Yeah, it's not just one.
Right. I believe we have
place.
we have about 19, I think, partner institutions on both sides of the Thames River, in New London and Groton, including the Submarine Museum, and many of the places that I've already listed here on the Groton side. We have the Gard Arts Theatre, we've got many of the New London museums, and we all come together to work to help people to understand the history that exists in this part of Southeast Connecticut. And one of the main things that the Thames River Heritage Park has done to increase its visibility is provide this water taxi that allows people to go across the river to sites on both the Groton side and the New London side. Fort Trumbull is one of our landings. We've got City Pier in New London, and then we've got a landing here on the Groton Bank side.
That is great, because that means, well, for one thing, people can take a boat ride. They can
Yes.
come to Groton Bank Day or Art in Groton Bank, and not everybody has access to the water, even though we're a water community, and the river's right there. So what a great opportunity to take a boat ride. And it's free for the day, is that correct? It's being sponsored?
It is. Electric Boat is once again generously sponsoring a full day of a dedicated water taxi. There are several water taxis in the Thames River Heritage Park, but we will have a dedicated one that day to take people to all 3 points should they desire. They can come from New London to Groton. So if they've parked in New London, they can then take the water taxi back to their car when they're finished with their day on Groton Bank. So it really will be nice to get on the water for people, both local and visitors from afar.
I was going to say that's right, because you can have your friends and relatives come in on the train from New York or Boston or further. You've got we've got the ferry terminal right there.
Absolutely.
So what a great spot for all that. And Wendy, tell us a little bit more about what goes on in the library that day. You have a book sale, I believe.
Yes, the Friends of the Bill Memorial Library have their book sale that day.
Wonderful.
So that's housed inside the library.
Okay.
So we invite people to come in and browse the books.
Do you know if, and I'm asking you this because I'm not sure yet, do you know if we're going to have any historic walking tours this year like we've had in the past?
Yes,
you're not.
yes,
We do know
I
that.
can answer that, yes,
Okay,
yes, I can
good.
answer it.
I
Mark.
wasn't sure.
We will have historic walking tours again. There will be a program that we will distribute widely as people arrive, and before that as much as we can, and that will include information about those tours so that you can get onto your phone with an app and have some tours that you can be guided by your app for those tours. So there's going to be
Wonderful.
so much to do.
Oh, we're actually going to be up to date in Kansas City here with
It's true, technology, yes.
technology.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Oh, that's good to know. And well, I mean, just sounds like a really, really exciting day. And of course, as you mentioned, we've got ample parking, free parking everywhere.
Right.
And it's good you mentioned that all these sites and places are open and free for the day. So it's a great opportunity for families to spend a full day and really not having to spend a whole lot of money doing it.
Nope, you don't have to spend a nickel if you don't want to. Also, another thing that's free, if I could mention this
Please.
now, we have a shuttle bus that we are providing for all of our guests. Often people, it can be a bit daunting to walk up the hill if you've ever been to Groton Bank, and you can see how looking up from the river, those hills are pretty steep. So we are so fortunate the Groton Senior Center is once again providing a shuttle bus for us, so that we'll be making continuous loop from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. just like the water taxi. You can hop on, hop off anytime that you want. We'll be stopping at every single location, every food location, so that people can ride to their heart's content and get on and off as they will. So for young children or elderly or anybody who's got a challenge, you can sort of choose how much exercise you want to have or how much riding you want to do.
Well, I would really like to know where else can you go for a day free and have beautiful museums, a beautiful library, book sales, food, a free shuttle service,
Art.
a walking tour, art, a boat ride. I mean, this is pretty special.
We hope so. We had how many visitors last year? About 400 or 500, we think.
Yes.
It's hard to take account when people are walking, along the streets, but we're hoping to, at least increase that by a good number this year.
Yeah, my first year doing Art Groton Bank, I thought I would try to take numbers and count
Oh, with
how
a
many
clicker?
people
Yeah.
with a clicker.
Yeah.
That lasted about an hour.
It's just too hard.
It's just too much.
Right,
You
it's
just
hard.
can't do it, especially when you're being called like, "Oh, Mark, come over here. I
Yeah,
need something."
exactly.
Or, you just sort of totally lose it after a while, and
Right.
it's just not worth it. But I think those figures are about right. Yeah, I think that's terrific. And tell us, the library is such a beautiful place, and it's really just a destination also.
Yes, well, we were built in 1890 as a library by a wealthy patron. We have his portrait in the
It
library.
would be Frederick Bill. Right?
Yes, and he gave us the library and a museum collection that we bring down. The Rotary Club built a display case for us, so we bring the collection down, we rotate it through the display case. We have Colonel Ledyard's sword on permanent display.
Wow, yes.
Yeah, we have our famous mummy hand.
Yes.
That
Oh,
is
gosh.
part of our
Creepy and
collection.
fun. Creepy
Listen
and
to everybody, mummy hands, swords, oh my gosh, yeah. And people will be able to see all these things that day if they go into the library? Will that be they'll be on view?
Yes, well, we'll have some things on display.
Not obviously everything, but
Right.
you'll have some of these things.
Right. Colonel Ledyard's sword is always on display.
Oh,
And we
wonderful.
get the mummy hand
Yeah.
in the case as well.
Well, the library, really, as I said, is on its own as a destination. It's a very, very beautiful place to go in, and people can go in, use the internet, and check out some good books, buy some good books.
Right.
So again, it just adds to all the great things that we have going on. And of course, there's that huge parking lot, which again is free parking.
Right.
And it's right there, so you don't have to walk very far if you want to go to Art and Groton Bank.
Sure.
Obviously, to go to some of the other sites, you take the shuttle service.
You can take the shuttle service. There's the municipal parking lot down near the water taxi landing.
Oh, that's right.
So that's another
yeah.
place people can come and
And that's
park.
also free.
That's
correct?
also free.
Yeah.
Yes, it is 100%. And there's a lot of street parking. Just some of the streets are narrow, so I would encourage people to just be safe and pull over as far as you can,
Sure.
because
Sure.
the shuttle bus will be going by and other people will be walking. But really, it's been a pretty good, I think, right, location for parking. We haven't had any complaints.
Right.
about that, because people can park all along the bank.
And Wendy, the neighborhood around the library, we talk about Groton Bank, but tell us a little bit more about the area, because there's a lot of beautiful old captains' homes and then the Congregational Church and things. So can you talk a little bit about the neighborhood where the library is, or just, if I pretty much said it?
Yeah, and I guess I'm not the expert on that, unfortunately, but
Okay.
like you say, a lot of the sea captains lived there. So almost it seems like as you're driving through Groton Bank, almost every other house has a plaque on it
Yeah.
from a certain historical figure. So,
And if
well,
somebody-
and the Avery family is big in that area.
Oh, yes, there's a bunch of homes that
history.
used to belong to the family. Yeah, most of them built around 1800, or some of them had to be rebuilt, of course, after some of the battles because of the fires and the ravaging of the homesteads and
Right.
things like that. But a lot of history, a lot of things related to families with big names that you see all over the place, like Bill, like Frederick Bill, his name is everywhere.
And I think
Yes.
back in the day, Thames Street was like the place to be. It was almost like downtown Mystic is now.
Yeah.
But Thames Street used
Yeah.
to be like that.
And of course, if someone wants to go, Paul's Pasta will be open that day.
Absolutely.
And we've got to mention Paul because he helps support us.
Oh, Paul
He's-
is a wonderful
he's
guy.
A wonderful guy, and who doesn't love his food? It's,
my gosh.
it's just
Yeah,
so
my
great.
thighs don't love his food, okay?
Oh well, that's right. What does it say? Once over the lips, forever on the hips.
I think that's what it
something
is.
like that.
I ignore that phrase
I
all the
ignore
time.
it too because pasta is, God, it's just I think my favorite
Comfort
food on
food.
the planet. Yeah.
But
Right,
speaking
but
of
he makes nice salads. I mean, you can.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah.
You can eat.
He specializes in pasta, but there's a
There's a
lot.
lot, yeah.
Available there.
There is so much there. Well, we should talk about some of our sponsors so far for Groton
Please,
Bank Day.
please do.
I think that would be nice to do.
I think it'd be wonderful.
We are still openly seeking sponsorship, so if any of your viewers are looking to support something local, my contact information is on the bottom of the screen.
Oh, great. Yeah, please, anyone look at that right there. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Wendy's contact information, I think, comes up at some point, and of course,
we're all very
you, Mark.
user-friendly.
We are very user-friendly. We talk to one another, and so anyway, if you are interested in sponsorship, we would really love it. Providing this free is really important to us.
And we give back to our sponsors.
We do.
Yeah.
And the Chelsea Groton Bank has already stepped forward and said they would sponsor again, which is just so lovely. The Gart Art Center is doing media sponsorship for us again this year. Like I said, Electric Boat is actually providing dollars to pay for the water taxi. Cumulus Radio is doing some media sponsors for us, some public service announcements, which we will be recording sometime in the next month or so. We've got as I said, the Groton Senior Center shuttle, and I have to refer to my notes to make sure I don't miss
That's
anyone.
okay. That's
And
all right.
Groton
That's what they're
Utilities
for.
is always wonderful and allows us to put a banner for a couple of weeks prior to the event.
Oh, wonderful.
On their property, a fence that they have in a perfect location. So far, we've got really nice round of sponsors, and we just will continue working hard to get even more.
So again, it shows what a great community event it is, and how between your efforts, Wendy, and your efforts and mine, that we bring a lot of the corporations and businesses in, as well as all our visitors, and a lot of those visitors are employees of some of these places. So
We hope so. We hope they
Yeah.
come. I always encourage the employees of these organizations to come. Usually a few days before, a reminder just to say, please, send out an email and tell your employees, because it really is a nice, beautiful day. And yeah, that's a
But we
good thing
do
to
need help. We need
was-
volunteers.
Thank you, Wendy. I was just going to say there's
We
one
do
word
need
missing.
help.
Yeah.
Volunteers.
Yes.
Tell us.
Well, certainly on the day of the event, we need quite a few volunteers
People
to help set up.
tents, help the
Right.
artists set up tents and that type of thing, correct?
Yes, and be at the different shuttle stops. We have signage that needs to go out.
Directing some traffic perhaps, pointing for parking things. Yeah.
Yes. So if you are interested in volunteering, get in touch
With anyone,
Jacqui or
any one
Mark
of
or
us,
me.
right?
any one of us,
Yeah.
and we can find, if you have an hour free, great. If you have 3 hours free, great. We will work you in.
Yeah, we will. And if you want to have something comfortable and just sit for a couple hours, we'll have, if
There will be opportunities. We'll make one.
if you want to be real bossy and direct traffic, you can do that too, right?
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
Oh, this is, yeah, this is really exciting. I know this is my 4th or 5th year, I think, working with Art and Groton Bank, and second with the Groton Bank Day people. But it's a joy to do, because working with people like the two of you, it makes it a lot of fun and a lot of work. You work very hard. Wendy, Jacqui, you work very hard all year round, really, preparing for this event. So it takes a lot of effort.
It does, but it's worth it, don't you think?
Yes, and I think after last year, we really listened to the feedback and have made some changes and additions this year to make it better. You know, more food available.
Right.
The
Yes, more
transportation, just making some changes there.
Yes, we did find one thing last year, which was kind of funny.
Okay.
Across on the
Share.
water taxi. New London had Family Day on Groton Bank Day last year, and I believe they're doing that again. So for our viewers, that's another option for your viewers. But what happened is we found, by not having a dedicated water taxi, that we had people waiting to come to Groton Bank Day or leave Groton Bank Day, and they couldn't get on the boat because people were, riding throughout the river. But we have ironed that wrinkle out so that we can assure people that if they are at one of the landings, they will be able to get on the boat when they need to, as opposed to waiting for it to go back and forth again.
Terrific.
So, but it, I think it's a really good sign, because it said there were so many people wanting to do it that we couldn't quite accommodate everybody in as timely a fashion as we wanted to. But we have taken care of that this year.
And the water taxi is a great alternative to having to go on 95 or go over the bridge. You certainly can, and park free on either side. But what a great opportunity to like I mentioned earlier, take a boat ride.
Yes, and they are retired Navy vessels as well. So they're interesting boats to be on. They aren't luxury boats, but they are very much utility boats. And they're really interesting. It's interesting to be on them, to look at them, to understand that they used to go out to naval vessels that couldn't get close enough to the shore, and they would bring the military people, back to where they needed to be, either out to the boat or back into the shore. But they were used, for years and years and years in ways that really benefited all of us.
And so they're really sturdy, safe, comfortable boats.
Very much, and dog friendly. So for people
really?
who want to
Okay.
come to the Groton Bank Day and bring their dog, they are welcome to do so. I don't think every venue allows dogs inside of it. I know some of them do, but certainly there's so much exterior space that bringing your dog, if you don't want to leave your dog at home, it doesn't preclude you from bringing them and coming and enjoying.
Right. Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's the same, Wendy, isn't that true with the grounds of the library?
Yes.
They're also dog friendly?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
That's something maybe we should do this year, is put up, or do you put up a little water station?
That's a good idea.
Yes, we could.
Sure.
I think it's a great, another
I know we
volunteer
have
job.
Dog biscuits at the library.
Yeah.
But maybe we should, get a nice little big giant bowl of nice water or something.
I think that's a great idea.
yeah,
At many locations along the route.
locations along the way.
Oh, speaking of that, can I talk about the passport?
Please
Should
do.
we?
Yes.
Okay, last year we developed a passport program so that people could visit the various venues and get a stamp that said that they had visited that venue, and then if they got a certain number of stamps out of all the venues, they could then enter their book in a prize to win. And what we did is simply have them take a picture of their stamps so that they could keep their book as a keepsake,
fun.
or continue to use it throughout the summer. It's not a program that's just for Groton Bank Day. It will kick off on Groton Bank Day, but it will go throughout the summer, and people can see how many stamps they get and then can enter if they desire to win. Last year we gave away a lovely piece of art that was donated by one of your artisans or artists from Art on Groton Bank, and this year we don't know yet what the prize will be, but we will certainly be delighted with whatever it is, and it gives people just kind of a fun thing to shoot for.
And where would people pick up this passport?
We are going to distribute them at all venues,
Okay.
and also on the water taxi.
Excellent.
And
So they're right
perhaps
there, easy to get wherever you go.
we are going to make it as easy as possible. It will be a combined program and passport, so you'll have in your hand the various locations that are open today, a little map of how to get from one to the other. It'll show the shuttle stops, clearly where the water taxi landing is. We will do our best to designate food locations if we know them all by the time of printing. everything that'll make it easier for people to really enjoy their day and feel a sense of that they know what they're doing. It'll talk about the historic tours and the app that you can download. So we're really trying to make it comprehensive so that it makes people feel like they are organized and can have their whole day to do what they want.
It sounds like you just between all the work that you both have been doing, you've must have covered about everything, I think. I'm not sure if...
Lawn signs, if anyone wants a lawn sign,
Lawn
as we get
signs?
closer, please, they should reach out to us as well.
All right.
So if they want to put one on their lawn, if they're, and it doesn't matter where you live. We are going to be distributing lawn signs and probably the week before, 2 weeks before.
And if you have a sponsorship, would they be able to, if they give a certain amount to sponsor, maybe hang one of their banners on the library property? Wendy, was that a possibility?
It is a possibility. I know we've done that in the past with hurricane fencing,
Right.
for banners.
Great. So again, it's if someone's out there listening and has a business, a small business or a big business,
Right.
Great opportunity to put your banner and have 400, 500 people see it.
See that you're a community supporter, and we will also include all sponsors in the program book. So everyone who gets one will see those logos and perhaps, depending on space, see something about the company. We're not quite there yet. We're a little bit ahead of the game on that.
Okay.
So we haven't designed that fully yet, but we will certainly be acknowledging in every way possible all of our sponsors.
And one thing I know we're always very fortunate is it's always a beautiful day. And
Always.
I can say that with confidence. It's always a beautiful day. And as they say, Groton Bank area gets the breezes.
Yes, it does.
So it's usually quite lovely.
Yes.
And we're down to just a couple of minutes. Is there anything I haven't asked that either of you would like to add before we run out of time?
I do want to remind everyone it's free, free, free. That's the most important thing that people can know. It's so hard sometimes. You wake up on a Saturday, what are we going to do with the kids today? And sometimes it feels like it's a never-ending ching-ching, right? Mom and Dad, the ATM machines. But things like this, you can spend literally the entire day with no cost.
All you have to do is just get in the car and park, and you have the entire day free, like you said, for boat rides and art and food and all kinds of great things. Well, thank you both for sharing the library and the Avery Copp House Museum with us, and Groton Bank Day and Art in Groton Bank. Thank you both for being my guest today, and I wish us all great luck.
Me too. It'll be a great day.
It's going to be a great day. Well, thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Jacqui, very much for
Thank you,
today.
Mark.
I want to thank my viewers for tuning in, and I want to make sure that you put Groton Bank Day and Art in Groton Bank on your calendar for Saturday, June 8th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. I want to make sure you put the library, go visit the beautiful Bill Memorial Library any day of the week, and of course
Except Sundays.
Except Sundays. And of course the Avery Copp House Museum, which is a true gem. And it just shows you that our area, we're full of all kinds of gems. We've got a lot of beautiful places to see and to visit. So please put that on your calendar. Come down and see us. We'll be looking forward to seeing you that day. We'll guarantee you're going to have a blast with your friends and your family. And thank you for tuning in with Around the Town with Mark. We'll see you again very soon, especially on June 8th.